And hey, Dave.
Folks.
He's the man. He's driving us today. And we are on our way to GaryCon. We're about 4 hours away, arriving at 8 o'clock. We're driving in on a Tuesday to miss the blizzard because it's supposed to blizzard in Nebraska. So we're trying to make sure we don't get stuck there so we can go play nerd games all week. We're in Lake Geneva, and I'm drinking caramelized pear iced tea, which is pretty good. And Dave's here, and we got to our hotel room.
Yeah.
It's kind of Norman Bates Hotel-ish.
Yeah.
But we're only staying here one night, and then we're gonna stay at the house next door to Gary's house. So that's pretty cool.
Birthplace of Dungeons and Dragons.
That's right, and we're gonna do a video of that later. And we're gonna go meet up with Terry. I think he's coming in the room. And then we're gonna eat pizza and be
Have a good
nerds.
time. Take it easy.
All right. Peace.
Real nice. $74.
We are in Lake Geneva. All right, the house is right up here on the left. There's our house, the yellow one, and there's Gary's house, white one. All right. Okay, we parked. We're coming up the road here. The house on the left, the yellow one, is the house we're going to be staying in. House on the right, that's Gary's house. So that's the Gary Gygax's home, where
Original home.
original home.
There's a shoe cobbler in the basement just before D&D.
Yeah. Did you? I listened to that podcast. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Where it goes through everything. Forgot the name of it, but it was good. So there's Gary's house, and then gonna be hanging out here tonight. There you go. We got the mat. Birthplace of Dungeons and Dragons. There it is. Oh, look. We got a little sign there. 330 Center Street. Okay. Birthplace of D&D. This is it. Pretty cool, Dave.
Cool.
And then we're staying in this house over here all week. So, go out the side door, go to Gary's house. That's pretty cool.
We gotta do a selfie in front of the house.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, the rest of this video is going to be mostly just commentary on top of photos. I do have a few more videos interspersed throughout, but the weekend got pretty busy and it was harder to take video, especially while you're in the middle of games and doing a lot of walking around and talking with people. So the video part was more difficult to accomplish. I had the best intentions, but we did take a lot of photos. So I'm going to go ahead and get those, talk through those and talk about my experiences at GaryCon. Here's just kind of a spoiler. I wanted to let everybody know that we are getting Volume 3 coming out probably somewhere in Q3, maybe late Q2, but I think Q3 2025 you're going to get Righteous Vow Volume 3. We're in the middle of writing it. We're in the middle of artwork. Here's the cover art for it. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Andrew Beckwith once again comes through with this awesome artwork of a dragon sneaking up on an unsuspecting group of fighters as they face the cultists of the dragon. So anyway, this is an awesome new artwork that we're using for Volume 3, and I can't wait to share this next adventure with you guys and gals, and hopefully it turns out good and you guys enjoy it. So that's the aim anyway. All right, and this is I just wanted to kind of spoil this as well. This is some artwork that's going to be in the next issue, the next zine. And yeah, I really love the way that this is going. We've got our paladin knights and our dwarves, and man, I just tell you what, it is an honor to be able to write to the artwork that Andrew's making, because this stuff is lights out. It's great. So there's another awesome piece of art for you. And then this is kind of a tentative cover for Volume 4. I really like the idea of, I came up with the idea of a monster that's a sea hydra, half squid, half hydra. And so it's going to be a sea hydra. I'm really excited to do a sea adventure for Volume 4. This artwork might just end up being inside the zine and not actually the cover, but this is kind of a placeholder for Volume 4. We're working on that one as well. So, yeah, things to look forward to. I also wanted to real quick touch base on the fact that we have Shadow Dark in locally. There's Dave and I. We're really excited. We did some Shadow Dark games locally lately, and we're continuing to do more and more Shadow Dark RPG games locally, just because we love the system, we love everything about it, we love OSR. We play in an Osric game every Wednesday with Terry, our awesome game master who does Osric with us. And yeah, so there we go. There's us excited, and then there's a couple of there's Dan and Dave with their DCC Not a Cult t-shirts that they got at GaryCon. I just thought that was funny, and I wanted to throw that in there because I love that picture. It makes me laugh. All right, and then there's Harry, and he always joins me on Wednesday nights when we play Osric, and he actually plays a character named Godzilla. He's a level 5 fighter, and he has survived many combats, and he just named his character Godzilla. He's Godzilla the fighter. So anyway, Harry, Godzilla the fighter, is excited about Shadow Dark as well. And there's kind of the spread we've got at our LGS. It was on display. All I think every one of those books is sold now because they've got barely any. I think they've got a few core books left, but all the zines and everything else sold out really fast. And it's good to see. There's a lot of players getting excited about Shadow Dark in our area, so that's great to see. We're excited about it. And moving on. The next video that I'm going to make is going to be about Quest at the Castle. It is a castle event here at the Joslyn Castle in Omaha that I ran 2 Shadow Dark games at. It was actually yesterday, so I got a bunch of photos and video from that. So I'm going to do a event recap on that, just so you have something to look forward to. So look forward to that. It's going to be really awesome. I really had a blast there. There were a lot of people that were excited about Shadow Dark and about learning the system. I had a lot of new players. I had young players, old players. It was awesome. So great mix, great event put on by actually the editor for Righteous Vow, Wayne Brecky and Lori Brecky. They put this whole event together, and it was a blast. So I hope they do it again next year. It was an honor to be a part of it. I really loved it, and it was an excellent way to spend my birthday weekend. So love that. All right, back to GaryCon, everybody. It was GaryCon. What is that? 17, I guess. Yeah, if I got my Roman numerals right. But we did GaryCon 17. I made the luck tokens for the event, Righteous Vow luck tokens, and was handing these out at all the games. And if anybody walked up to me, I gave them these cool printed MDF luck tokens we got printed here in Omaha and brought them out for the event. And those were really cool. There's me and Dave, as you saw before. Went to Gary's house, and it was really awesome. They're at 330 Center Street in Lake Geneva. Got to actually go in there later and roll some dice and hang out and get a tour with Yolanda. She is absolutely amazing, super kind lady, super nice, just absolutely welcoming. Probably one of the highlights of the trip was just how amazingly welcoming, inviting, and positive everybody was at GaryCon. It was such a great experience. I don't know how I wouldn't go back every year now since visiting this for the first time. It's just an absolute blast. And Dave Rosser, my sidekick, or maybe I was his sidekick, I don't know, but probably that way around. But but yeah, but man, he's great to hang out with. He and I have become really great friends, and it's been a blast. Just hanging out with him, going on that trip with him. He was kind enough to drive, so it was a blast getting to hang out with Dave, and I love gaming with the guy. He's quickly become one of my good friends, and I'll tell you what, he's awesome, dude. So that was a blast. We got go and bless our dice at the memorial for Gary Gygax there in the city. So in Lake Geneva, they have this memorial set up, and I just put my dice on there, and supposedly it's supposed to make you roll good. I don't think that I rolled very good, but all weekend there were a few times where I had some good rolls, but I'm sure that this definitely helped in some way. Yes. Anyway, there's all my dice. I got those. Green is my favorite color, so I got some old green armory dice, and those are like my go-to dice. And I also got a D20 that's an old Game Science D20. So green is my favorite color, so I always like green dice. I also got my Lord of the Rings dice that I got from Wayne over at Dungeon Crate. Those are fun. I loved Lord of the Rings, so I had to get those. And then I've got my shipwreck dice that I got here in Omaha. There's a gal that runs the shipwreck dice, and she made me these really awesome red and gold shipwreck dice. So if you get a chance, check out shipwreck dice. I think it's shipwreckdice.com. But she makes absolutely amazing dice. They are really cool. I got that big chunky D20 from her, and they're all pirate themed. So I think that those are definitely the dice I'll use while I'm playing Pirate Borg, is the shipwreck dice, because they've got, the cutlasses on the sixes. They've got a D2 that's really cool with swords on both sides. And the treasure map D20 is just so cool. So if you're playing Pirate Borg, go get some shipwreck dice, because I think I should get Luke and Zach Goins in contact with her, because those should be the official dice of Pirate Borg. I would think that would be the way to go. But anyway, definitely check those dice out. I think that they're amazing, and I had to get a really nice set of those. Because they are the coolest dice around, I think, other than vintage armory dice, which are also awesome. All right. One of the bad things that happened on this trip, unfortunately, was the screen on my laptop broke because I put a bunch of books in my backpack and then just absolutely smashed the screen on my laptop. Fortunately, I had a Apple Care, got it fixed. All good. But here's me and Dave and Terry. So Terry actually got to come hang out for the beginning of the trip. Unfortunately, he got kind of sick and had to go home, which was a really big bummer, because I was like, oh man, Terry didn't get to experience the whole weekend. He's a retired firefighter, and he had some health complications. He's a totally amazing dude, amazing DM. He's our game master during every week we go and play with Terry, and he's just he's fought fires his entire life and been on the rescue team there, and he just constantly a positive dude and a positive individual throughout his life, and we just want to make sure that he's healthy. So he had to go home early and then heal up and get some medication to help him. But he was there for the beginning, which was awesome. But you'll see it all ends up positively later. You'll see, because he's a really big fan of the 3D6 down the line guys. So you'll see. That's part of the story later. But we sat on the Gary bench, got our picture taken, and that was really awesome. Next, there's Terry. He was stoked about these posters, the Tomb of Horrors poster. He wanted a picture next to it. But they had these really awesome vintage, old school posters and vinyl, the displays, and those were really cool. So that was awesome to see. And there's me and Dave in our cool Righteous Vow t-shirts in front of the Gary Con Pirate Lady stand-up photo op thing. And there's another picture of me with it. Then there's the Lake Geneva Museum. So we actually went there later on when we delivered. Actually, it was a Dungeon the board game, giant they made like a giant version of it where you could actually play on it, and it was 3D and had all the doors and the inclines and everything built in for the dungeon, and you could play the board game dungeon on this big 3D version of it. So we went over there and delivered that for Paul Stormberg, and he and his friend Kevin, which it was really great to meet those guys, and I wish I got pictures of them, but they got us breakfast the next day. And it was super kind of them. They got us breakfast since we helped them move that over to the museum, and they were just absolutely super kind dudes. And to sit down and have breakfast with those guys and talk and go through stories. But Paul Stormberg, super awesome dude. Really enjoyed hanging out with him and Kevin. They were great dudes. But anyway. That night we went over, I went over to, this, Shadow Dark party, the welcome party, cause I had not yet met Kelsey Dion, and I had not met, Mike, who, also helps out with, Michael. He's a really great dude. Also a lot of the people on the Discord I wanted to meet, like Kiwi, flew in, and Kiwi 4 Barbecue is his name on there, but I just call him Kiwi. But yeah, we had people flying in from all over the world to be at GaryCon, and they did like a pizza party and sponsored the event, so it was cool to go to that. This was kind of like the, hey, come to the party. There we go. Here's a cool Tomb of Horrors map that I wanted to take home with me, but it was out there for a display, and I was just excited about it. It was cool. So they had a bunch of displays out there of vintage stuff. Oh, and let's fast forward a little bit. We went over to the library, the Lake Geneva Public Library, because we had visited before they had opened everything up for the party that night. We went over to the resort, but then we came back over here, checked out their Appendix N section, where they had a bunch of really cool books there. And then Dave had to get his picture on the super cool throne. And then here's actually, that's Brendan LaSalle. He's setting up inside of Gary's house for a game. So we got a tour of Gary's house, and got to see all of the rooms in there, and see all the old pictures, and see everything that had to do with his house, his old desk and typewriter. And then here's the actual door that was on the basement. So this is, it's a entrance war games room. So entrance war games room, and that's actually Gary putting that on there with marker. And so that's the actual door to the basement. When you would walk down, because he just wanted people to come right directly to the war games room in the basement. So that was the door you came in, and it's kind of really cool part of the house. And that's where everybody would come in and test out D&D and play games. So there's Dave talking to Yolanda. She was a really sweet woman, really kind and a nice lady, and she was so welcoming. She let us all in. There's Terry and Dave and Brendan getting ready for, they played a Dungeon Crawl Classics game that evening. It was really awesome time. I didn't actually get to play in it. I got to be there for the tail end of it because I wanted to go to the Arcane Library pizza party and meet Kelsey for the first time, because obviously it's important to do that since I'm writing third-party zines for her game. So I really was excited to meet her, and excited to meet everybody from the Discord. So that was really cool. But I missed out on the game, which was a bummer, but also, you know what? It's all good. I'm glad that they got to experience it. And it was kind of a crowded room, because everybody wanted to play in that game and play at Gary's house. So I did get to roll dice on the table and hang out, and, but I didn't actually get to play a game there. Hopefully next year I'll get to play a game. Hopefully Yolanda can make that happen. But if you ever get a chance to go out to Gary's house, I'm serious. And here's another couple pictures of some of the memorabilia, old character sheets, old maps, old hex maps. But if you ever get a chance to go out there, definitely do. Visiting the Center Street location, it's literally where D&D was made. So it's important, I think, everybody should get out there. Here's actually they're raising money to put in a memorial at the park of Gary Gygax. They told me the story about it. It's pretty cool. You actually put your dice in his hand, and it's like a dice roller, and they'll roll right onto that table there. You can sit down and play a game with Gary. So that's kind of awesome, I think. Hopefully, once it's constructed, I'd like to go check it out. But right now, that's kind of the idea and the plan right there. And then I signed the guest book. Got to do that. We went down in the basement, and here is where the sand table is. They would play chainmail down here. There's some a castle and some of the old chainmail figures. I got a few pictures of those. Just absolutely, amazing to see the birthplace of D&D. And they actually played chainmail down there throughout the weekend. I'm sure there were a few games down there. I saw pictures of it somewhere, but just awesome to see how they used to play, and exciting. So anyway, after we visited Gary's house for a little bit, got the tour, Yolanda was amazing. Then I went and stood in line for a while, and it wrapped all the way around the building. But the thing about it is actually moved pretty quickly. You had cool artwork and signs like this as you're going through the line. There's me in the line. I talked to a few people. And then I met up with Dwayne. He's from Sioux City. He comes down and runs DCC games that I play in every once in a while because I really love Dungeon Crawl Classics. Love that system. It's a blast. Between Marcelo, who runs it locally here, and then Dwayne, and then sometimes Dave runs modules for it. But I always love to play a good DCC game, and so it was good to meet up with him, say hi, because we play online sometimes, and it's great to play in person with him too. So really excited to meet up with him and hang out with Dwayne. So.
The line is long.
And then we went through the line, just some pictures of, they had like a jousting war game area. It's called the Legends of Wargaming area, and they had some really old school games there, and it was super cool. I was very excited to see that going on. There's just a variety of different games going on that you could stumble onto anything, and it all looked fun. And then down here, the cool thing about this, I had to take a picture of this because Andrew Beckwith, the artist for Righteous Vow, he's done most of the artwork in the zines, and then he also does the cover art for Righteous Vow. But he drew this troll. It's part of that the upcoming Western Reaches Kickstarter that Kelsey's working on and putting out. But I was really excited to see his artwork all over these banners because it seems like he's getting opportunities that are great. A lot of people are recognizing his art, and that just brings a smile to my face because I love seeing my friends succeed. So there's Andrew's art on the banner down to the Shadow Dark layer. They had all the games down there. So and then it was cool. They were getting ready for the party, and there's Kelsey, and I walked up to her and I said, "Hey, I'm Bill," and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're Bill," and gave me a big hug, and it was cool to meet Kelsey. I brought her a signed copy of the hardback of Volume 1 so that she could enjoy that. And Kelsey was as advertised. She was extremely kind, extremely cool. Her and Jesse, her wife, were absolutely just the most kind people you could meet. They say, never meet your heroes because they'll disappoint you. But this was the opposite of that. It was like, here's the gal that wrote my favorite game. She is super kind, super cool. And it's great to be able to say, hey, we're now friends. So there we go. It's official. So we got to meet there, and I saw her throughout the weekend, and every time she was more than happy to talk with me, and it was just a blast. And as you can see here, she signed my book. Well, she signed both my books actually, which was really cool. But yeah, I didn't expect her to write that. That was really really kind of her. I think she highly overestimates my ability, but Maybe not. Maybe not. You know, I'm a very determined individual. So if I want to do something, I usually make it happen. So um, yeah, there's that. It was really, really kind words. Thank you, Kelsey. Happy that it was an awesome experience meeting her. She signed that. And then she signed my other one, my green one. So there we go. We got both the black book and the green book signed, the um, Kickstarter book. So really awesome meeting her. There's Mike, and then that was Tiffany. She's also on the Discord, and it was really nice meeting her. Just some of the cool people there at the event. It was a blast meeting so many cool people that were all having fun and enjoying Shadow Dark and talking about Shadow Dark and excited to play some Shadow Dark throughout the weekend. So there we go. And yeah, Mike, he just made that monster. It was like a monster manual thing or a monster creator thing for, I'm forgetting the name of it. I forgot, but go check that thing out. Cause I'm gonna be using that a lot to create monsters for my zines in the future, just because it's so well done. But go check out Michael Putlock. He absolutely really great guy, great dude. I was excited to meet him, and yeah, just he makes good stuff too. So look up his stuff for Shadow Dark. He made a really awesome monster book, and go use it. Anyway, then after the party, I hung out, had some pizza, met Kelsey, met Michael, met Tiffany and others. Met Kiwi too. I didn't get a picture with Kiwi because he doesn't want to have his picture online, so I try to respect that. So I'm not going to put his face online, even though he's a super awesome dude. And went over back to Gary's house and sat in on the tail end of their adventure, their DCC adventure with Brendan LaSalle, which was really cool. And then, yeah, he did his thing. Then I took a picture of all of them. Really great dudes there over on the right. You can see Jeff, and there's Hunter and Steven. They were the guys we stayed with. Actually, let's see. That's Hunter, if you can see that. That's Jeff, and that's Steven. And then Dave and Terry we were all in the Airbnb together. Anyway, great times, great people. Here's the next morning. I was setting up for my game, my very first game of Shadow Dark RPG at GaryCon. So this was kind of the beginning moment to find out, hey, is this going to be a complete disaster, or am I going to pull this thing off? So there's Dave at the table hanging out. He went to go run Pirate Borg. And then I was running Shadow Dark. So I ran through an adventure that I wrote specifically for, actually it was going to be premiered at Quest at the Castle, but I play tested it here at GaryCon, and it was really awesome. I got 4 hours each day. I did a 4-hour session each day of the convention, so it added up to 16 hours of Shadow Dark RPG. And there we go. Everybody got a sticker and a luck token, and I gave them a pre-gen and a blank, so that way they could make a character if they wanted to, but they didn't have to. They could just use the pre-gen. So, and there's Dave hanging out, and there's my dice, and there's the adventure. And here's just some shots of them playing through it. I painted up some really old minis. And there's the whole group. Actually, it's funny because Wayne signed up for the adventure. Wayne's the editor for Righteous Vow, and I was not expecting him to do that, but he did. So, really awesome time, playing through that adventure. Everybody had a blast. But yeah, I painted up these really old, not all of them, like, some of them were the pre-painteds, like the half work there, but the rest of them are old, Grenadiers and Ralpartha miniatures that I painted up, and I glued them to nickels, just because a washer is 10 cents, but a nickel is still a nickel, if you wanted to know that. And then I printed out these really awesome, I pasted them on foam board and then cut them out, and then I put tape over them. It's kind of like the caveman way to make a map, but Anyway, there's some spoilers for you. I don't want to give too much away, but that's going to be an adventure coming up in, I think that's going to be in volume 5 of Righteous Vow. But anyway, worked out really good. Had a blast. There they are fighting some wraiths and stuff. And then afterwards, really awesome. The tabletop misfits dude. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I feel really bad. I think it's James. Maybe could be James. I'm probably wrong though. But anyway, he was really cool. I'm actually gonna be on their tabletop misfits show here in May. I think. I signed up to do that because he was like, "Yeah, we gotta have you on there." But he got a book, and dude was super kind. It was a blast playing games with you, man. And I hope to again in the future. But there's a picture of us, and he's got my book there, and I'm all happy because somebody bought my book. There we go. And then we got Shadow Dark, the booth. This is the booth, and everybody's there buying everything. I talked to Michael later, and I was like, "Oh man, it looks like you're selling everything out." And he's like, "Yeah, I wish we would have brought more books because they got cleaned out by the end of the weekend." And sorry that this is sideways. I screwed that one up. Oh well. But this is the luck tokens and the Stingbat Slammer that you could get if you walked up to the booth. I think you could only get the Slammer if you were a backer on the Kickstarter. So I got the exclusive Slammer. I have no idea where these are. I'm gonna have to dig through my bags and find them. but I've got them somewhere unpunched, so I'll probably punch them out and use them just because they're so awesome. But we'll see. Cool luck tokens, love it. And then it was kind of funny. I just took a quick picture of Joe Manganiello. I tried not to bother a lot of the people who were there doing autographs and doing, as they're walking through the halls. I did see Tom Morello, and I was like stoked to see him. Like he walked by. I really wanted to ask for a picture with him, but I was like, man, because I was such a huge Rage Against the Machine fan when I was a kid. And like seriously, that first album, I played that thing on repeat when I was in high school over and over and over. They just absolutely blew me away. And Tom Morello is one of the greatest guitarists of our time. He is creative, unique, and amazing. But I chose not to get a picture with him or bother him because, I feel like I was there to meet all the people that are making these games and playing these games, and that was what meant the most to me. But I got a quick picture just of him signing autographs because he was there and he's cool. And then I picked up a soft cover of Dungeon Crawl Classics just because they're $10. You can't beat that anywhere. $10 for the DCC soft cover handbook, role-playing game book. So that way, the idea was now I can beat this one up because I've got my hardcover, my nice one at home. But then I went and met up with Doug Kovacs and he signed my book. So I was like, gosh dang it. Now I got to keep this nice. There's Black Blade Publishing. They got all the Osric books. I picked up that the Monsters of Myth book. That is really cool. It's like a monster manual for Osric. They had a bunch of the old, like that Into the Borderlands book that you see there on the left. I'm using that book right now to run a Keep on the Borderlands campaign for Shadow Dark. So that book is one of my favorite books. Absolutely. The Goodman Games just makes amazing stuff. So I love Goodman Games. I love DCC. But to tell you the truth, I love to play DCC stuff in Shadow Dark because I like Shadow Dark system the best. So, but Osric guys, Black Blade Publishing, you got Grodog, and I think his name was John or Jim, but I'm trying to remember. But they were so cool. Grodog he was like, yeah, we'll put your book in our booth, and so heck yeah. And then the second day I came back and they were like, we sold out. You got to bring us more. So I brought him a whole bunch more books. I didn't have volume 2 yet, but they were selling volume 1 like hotcakes. So I need to get them some more books before they go down to North Texas Con, because then they said they wanted to have volume 1 and volume 2 at North Texas. So go down to their booth, Black Blade Publishing, and pick up your Righteous Vow there. Then there's Doug Kovacs. I thought for sure, because the way that he looks, like his demeanor and the way he looks like go away, don't talk to me kind of to me. I don't know, maybe he puts off that vibe to me. But I walked up to him, he's like, you want me to sign your book? How's it going? You want a picture? He was the nicest guy. But Doug Hovax, brilliant artist, brilliant artist. I actually picked up a print from him, and I bought one of his prints. And then yeah, he was talking to me about his comic books, he was talking to me about the artwork he was doing. But dude, just really, really good guy, really kind dude. I had a blast hanging out with him and talking to him. So Doug, you're the man. All right, next, I actually got to play in a game. This was my that afternoon after my morning game. Thursday afternoon, I got to play, and I actually got to try out the new Kaisian Archer from the Kickstarter. I printed out all the rules and asked the DM. I said, "Hey, can I run this? Because I really want to." And they were like, "Yeah." So that was awesome. I got to play a Kaisian Archer, and yeah, it was really fun. I really liked it. I can't wait to play more Kaisian Archer and more half elves, just because I feel like they're really cool. And yeah, there's the game, hanging out. He only This game lasted 2 hours, and it felt like a great. I wish it would have lasted longer, just because, man, he rocked through it. Got us through the adventure. It was a lot of fun, but I wish it was longer than 2 hours. But I understand they were just kind of trying to get people through and enjoying the game. So, but had a blast. Got to play Kaisian Archer. The DM here did a really good job. I'm serious. Like, he rocked us through that adventure in 2 hours, and he was a really good DM. I thought he was awesome. And there we go. I had to take a picture of this because I never roll maximum damage, and shot my longbow, rolled an 8. It was awesome. And I think I hit a sting bat or something, but it was awesome. Then I went and I played X-Crawl Classics, which was really cool. I got to play X-Crawl. Actually, Hunter, one of the gentlemen, I think they were from Tennessee, I believe. I'm brain farting where they're from, but I'm pretty sure it was Tennessee. But got to hang out with Hunter and Chris Spagno and a bunch of the guys that I talked to on the DCC RPG Rocks group, and played online with on Discord, but never got to meet. So I got to play X-Crawl, which was really cool. It's kind of like the whole thing about X-Crawl, and I'd never played it before, didn't understand exactly what X-Crawl was, but it is basically the old video game Smash TV. If you ever played Smash TV, it's that in an RPG, which is hilarious to me because I used to play Smash TV quite a bit, and this is like the RPG of that. It's pretty funny. So I got to hang out. There's Hunter on the left, and then Chris is over there. You can see him on the left as well, but me and Hunter, he gave me some of his cool purple dice. He had these really awesome wooden dice holders. I don't have anything like that. I want to track one of those down. Those are really cool. I really love those dice holders. And he was all about DCC. All the guys from Tennessee, they were all about DCC. So I played some X-Crawl, and this was just right in the hallway. They said, "Bill, come play with us," and I was like, "Sweet, I'm gonna sit down and play." So this was kind of an impromptu session. I named my character Danger Magnet just because I am a danger magnet. So my nickname was Danger Magnet. I constantly say that because so many of my characters die in my Osric game that my name is Danger Magnet. So Danger Magnet seemed like the perfect name for my my X-Crawl character. And there's a really blurry picture of that dice container that I loved. After the X-Crawl game, I had a really great time hanging out with these guys. And I got to meet Chris, and I think I got a picture of him later in this, but anyway. Then I went over and I looked like a bunch of Middle Earth strategy battle game miniatures were all over the place on this table, so it made me stoked because I love that, and I love hobbits, and I love dwarves, and I love Lord of the Rings, so took some pictures of that. They had some battle game going on that looked really neat, but I didn't have time to play it because I had to get over to something else. Oh, there we go. There's another picture of our game. Hunter's taking a picture of us playing X-Crawl. And there's Terry, and he's just absolutely stoked to play Tower of Gygax. And then, yeah, there's Kelsey. So I came over here because Terry was like, dude, he texted me, and he's like, dude, Kelsey is our DM for Tower of Gygax. I'm stoked. And so I walked over and I stood there and I was taking pictures of Terry because I was excited for him because I was like, oh, he gets to actually play with Kelsey. That's so cool. And I had a game that was coming up at 6 p.m. so I couldn't like stay the whole time, but I wanted to like watch him play. And then one of the ladies came up to me and she's like, hey, do you want to actually sit down and play? They don't have a full table. And I was like, is that okay? Yeah, I mean, I will. And then she's like, yeah. So she gave me a character. I sat down and I played some AD&D with Kelsey. So that was awesome. And then she was really cool. She's like, oh, hey, Bill's gonna play with us, and that was awesome. So I got to play. There was like this sunlight coming through the window, and I felt like I was getting a tan on the right side of my face. I was like, dang, this is intense, but it all worked out. And so we played some Shadow, or no, we didn't play Shadow Dark. We played AD&D, and she murdered everybody, and that was great. And then I had to leave because I had another game over here. I'm gonna have to blur this out because we can't put Kiwi's face on the video. Note to self. But got to play. Really, there's a picture I can use because it's hiding his face. All right, there we go. There's everybody at the table. We played a Shadow Dark game. I got to do another Kaisian Archer, which was awesome, and we explored a dungeon. There's my D20s. There's some of the miniatures, and I like how she did this with the near and far stuff. It was like the inner circle was near, everything outside was far, and that kind of made encounters kind of simple. I like that. I really do enjoy a good battle map, though. But this is definitely one way to do it that was pretty great. So there we are in the middle of battle against some skeletons. That was awesome. But then after the game, I went and got to meet Darlene, and she is, of course, the famous artist who made the original Greyhawk map. And so she was a sweetheart, man. She was so kind. I actually bought some prints of Greyhawk from her the next day. I went to her booth and I was like, yeah, I absolutely got to go over there. So it was really nice talking to her, meeting her, and she was just so kind and cool and sweet, and it was a great experience getting to meet her. Oh, there's a picture of Hunter and Chris and me, and that was kind of cool. He actually took that picture and then I stole it, but it's kind of funny. Chris was a great dude. Really great game with him. I hope to game with him in the future, but there it is. There's us hanging out. It was great chilling with those guys and getting to play X-Crawl with them. All right, there's a picture of me. I don't know why I put that in there. Anyway, the next morning, I believe that this was this Friday or Saturday? No, yeah, this was Saturday morning, I think. So this was Saturday morning. There was a panel. You had everybody talked about the state of the OSR. You had legendary authors like Matt Finch, who wrote Osric there, and of course Kelsey. And then you had Luke Stratton, which I got to meet later. He makes Pirate Borg, which is really awesome. And then you had Yochai and his buddy that do the, I'm sorry, I forgot the other guy's name. He's cool too, though. Actually, they were both hilarious. I really loved talking to them afterwards, especially Yochai. Yochai was, and I'm trying to say his name right because he's like, no, it's Yochai. You got to get the ch in there, you know. But he was a riot. That dude, I would hang out with him all day. That guy cracks me up. In fact, I just picked up a Cairn 2E Kickstarter bundle. Somebody was selling theirs after they got it. I was like, dude, I want that. I'm gonna buy it. So it's in the mail. Hopefully it makes it to me soon. But I can't wait to check out Cairn. He wrote Cairn, so there we go. And so that whole panel was really awesome. I got to ask questions. They answered a lot of stuff. It was a really great experience. So anyway, back over. I visited the booth again. They were selling Righteous Vow copies to people. There's Grodog and John. That's his name, John. It says right there. Okay, cool. I can get his name right this time. But John was really cool. Grodog was cool. They were cool. Anyway, go to Black Blade Publishing, pick up all their books at North Texas Con. Really great dudes. Can't wait to hang out with them next year at GaryCon. And thank you so much. They were so cool, and they carried my book at their booth. So awesome people. And yeah, Black Blade Publishing. There you go. Oh, one thing I wanted to tell you guys, right over there in the background, you can kind of see that black Dungeons and Dragons set right here. I actually have a copy of that. Um, and this was actually, this box set right here was the very first Dungeons and Dragons anything I ever played when I was a kid. There was a kid that in our Boy Scout troop at cabin camping brought this to cabin camp out, and that is the box set that introduced me to Dungeons and Dragons. The first time I ever rolled a die and the first time I ever played a character was with that box set. So there you go. Fun fact. There's Michael at the Arcane Library booth, Michael Putlock, and myself. And then you got John Abner. He actually wrote a zine for Shadow Dark. I actually met up with him there and I bought a copy of it just because I wanted to have a copy of his adventure. He made kind of like, it was like a fantasy sci-fi mixed adventure. So I haven't run it yet. I looked through it a little bit. I can't wait till I really deep dive into it and read it. That might be a review coming up when I get a chance. But he also, it was cool because when I bought the actual book, he gave me some luck tokens that went with it. So that was pretty sweet. But yeah, good to have a copy of another fellow zine writer's work. And yeah, it was cool hanging out. Went over there a couple times throughout the convention and hung out and talked with those cool dudes and got a photo with them. That was great. And this guy, this is Bill the Wizard. He has a really awesome name. And so I was like, and he had an awesome wizard outfit, and we played in Tower of Gygax together. So I got my picture with Bill. Dude had an awesome name. He was a wizard, Bill the Wizard. Great hanging out, dude. So we played Tower of Gygax, and I'll tell you what, this right here is about the most fun I had all weekend. And I mean, it was just so funny. And it's just because of what happened. So I walked up and I see Nordbert, this character, because Dave and I were signed up for Tower of Gygax. We didn't know who we were going to get for a DM. We came, sat down, and hung out. And this gal, Latia, was talking with Dave, and they were old friends. And then it turned out she was our DM. So that was pretty fun. But I sat down and I was like, I don't know. I saw the standee before I ever saw any of the character sheet or any of his items or anything, but I was like, dude, that guy's name is Nordbert and he's a halfling. I have to play Nordbert. So I grabbed the Nordbert stand and then they hand me this and it comes with the potion of healing and the wand of wonder. So I was, a halfling thief, and I've got this magic item, the wand of wonder, which I've never used a Wand of Wonder before, but I found out quite quickly exactly what this thing can do. And the Potion of Healing there, which I don't think I ever got to use it before I died because, bad things happen. Anyway, Nordbert was cool. There's me and Dave hanging out before the game, getting ready to roll some dice and play some Tower of Gygax. And then you got Latia here. We've got, she was gearing up to murder all of us terribly. There's Nordbert. That's exactly what I saw. And I was like, yep, I'm playing that one. There's my dice. Oh, we got these cool orange Gygax dice with the G on it, which was cool. And then I had to get my D100s ready because apparently every time you use the Wand of Wonder, you got to roll a D100. So got ready for the game. She was excited. She started throwing monsters at us. We were like, oh man, we took out the first monster. She was like, man, I made that too easy on you guys. I gotta try harder and make this more difficult. And as you can see, I gave her some stickers. She put them right on her, right there on her DM screen. I was like, oh, that's awesome. Thanks for putting my stickers right on. She had a really nice leather DM screen and she's just slapping stickers on it. I'm like, awesome. Great. So then the other funny thing is my favorite monster in the entire world is the Otyugh. And I always carry an Otyugh miniature in my bag because I like to spring Otyughs on people all the time, no matter what game it is. If you're going to have a random encounter, if I get a chance, you will find an Otyugh. So I brought my Otyugh miniature, and just so happens that we ran into an Otyugh, and she was going to go grab some standee that didn't look like an Otyugh, and I was like, oh no, wait, here you go. And so she put it right at the end of the hallway that we're coming down, and I'm like, oh no. So, and then a couple of ropers ended up near us. Let's not get to that part yet. Anyway, a couple of ropers ended up flanking us, and I was like, "Oh no, I better use the wand of wonder." And so I was like, maybe I'll cast a lightning bolt or something. We'll see what randomly happens. Turns out, as you can see by the 6 dice there, that I accidentally cast fireball in the middle of everybody, and got a healthy 26 there for the damage. So there's the actual. I was kind of there on the right, and I fired it at one of the. Those aren't actually like giants there. They're actually ropers on the sides. There's one of them on either side of us. So I was trying to catch the Otyugh, maybe, and the roper. I don't know, but I wasn't trying to fireball our entire party. I thought maybe I'd get a lightning bolt or something funny would happen. But I'm like, let's try this wand of wonder. Let's give it the old college try. And then I ended up fireballing with a 76 on my roll, which if you look 70-79 is fireball. Whoops, accidentally blasted everybody with fireball, and here is the result. So these two poor gentlemen got nuked. There's Latia saying, "Hey, you stole my kills." These two guys were good sports about it, but they were like, "Gosh dang it, you killed us, Bill." So I nuked half the party. At that point, I had a higher kill count than the actual DM, so Latia was like, "You're stealing my kills." It's funny. Anyway, she was awesome. There's the Tyra Gygax cool pin. And she's having a blast at this point. She's like, "I'm going to kill all you guys." And she did. She rolled real well. And I had to get a picture with Latia. She was a blast. But anyway, that was one of the highlights of my entire trip, was getting murdered and TPK'd by Latia. And there's a picture of all of us afterwards, and just getting to hang out with all the great people and play some AD&D. That was a blast. And then I ran into Dan after that. He was playing some DCC. He's one of our local gamers. He plays on Wednesday nights with us every Wednesday. So there's Dan. That was awesome. And then after the next day, I think this might have been the next day. But was this Sunday? No, this was my Saturday night game. I did have a Saturday night game. So I ran a Saturday night game with 9 players in it. People wanted to play Shadow Dark, just so you know, which is awesome to see. But everybody came out to play in my adventure on Saturday. Had a blast with these guys. Absolutely a great game. We got the adventuring going, busted out the miniatures, had a blast with some old school miniatures in an old school game. And this is more of that play testing of that module for Volume 5. So, and I'm also going to release this adventure. It's kind of a preview for Volume 5, but it'll probably be in the book for Volume 5. But I'm also going to release just this adventure that I ran at GaryCon. It's going to have a 4-hour version and a 2-hour version, and I'm going to release it for free on my mailing list and the newsletter. So if you sign up for the mailing list, you're going to eventually get this adventure that I ran at GaryCon and at Quest for the Castle for free dollars. Then after my excellent game with all of these cool people here, that was a blast. You guys were awesome. Thank you for playing. Super cool dudes, super great game. I went over and I got this book here. I purchased a copy of Dark Space RPG, which is a Shadow Dark hack that was made by Than the Man. But I went and I actually watched this game after my game, and came and hung out with Than for a little bit. And he's like, "Hey, you know what? I've got a game in the evening, and you can come and hang out and play in it. Just make sure." You know, I think it was a Saturday night game. Yeah. So he was like, on Friday, he's like, "Come back tomorrow and I'll make sure you get a seat at my table to play." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, that's awesome." Because I was reading through the book, I was watching them play it, and I was like, "Dude, this game is really well done, really well written. I love everything about Dark Space." So I was pumped to get that opportunity. You'll see that later. Here's a really blurry picture of me and Dave and Dan and Marcelo. We got to hang out for a minute. Marcelo took a picture of us, and that was cool. Marcelo runs DCC. He's also a really great writer. He's written for, I think he's written for MCC for Matt Colville. He's done a lot of Adventure League stuff, so he's very heavily involved in Adventure League, and he's an excellent writer, excellent dude. Marcelo is the man. Then this was, I believe this was Sunday morning, or was this Saturday? I can't remember. Oh no, this was Saturday morning. Yes, because that was Friday night. This is Saturday morning. And this is Ted. Yeah. So Ted from 3D6 down the line. And I was actually playing in his game over at the Timber Lodge. So we had to take the shuttle. And so I got my picture taken with him. I was like, hey, Ted, I watch your YouTube videos all the time. He's like, sweet, man. So the cool thing was he and the Mike and Dan, the 3D6 down the line guys, they were all there at GaryCon. And Terry, who had, it was kind of a bummer because I was telling him the story because Terry got sick during the trip and unfortunately had to go home. And he was such a huge fan of these guys. Like, he watches 3D6 down the line all the time. That's like his favorite is 3D6 down the line. So if you don't know what 3D6 down the line is, they play Old School Essentials, and they actually do Shadow Dark as well, but they're a live stream channel that does Old School Essentials run-throughs of Ardenville. So Ardenville is like one of the largest mega dungeons. I think it's like 5 or 6 books long, and it's one of the most massive mega dungeons ever made. And they do a really excellent job of going through that module, and it's really fun to watch. Probably one of the best live streams out there. I would say if you go check out 3D6 down the line, you will not be disappointed. So go look them up on YouTube. Go subscribe, check them out. It's absolutely Terry's favorite live stream is 3D6 down the line. So he didn't get to go and play in this. So, I mean, I played in it. I had signed up for it, and I felt bad that he didn't get to go. But the guys in 3D6 down the line know just how much Terry loves their channel and loves those guys. So they made it special for him. Yeah, you look criminally underwatched is their slogan. They gave me a pin, which is awesome. We made sure we got one for Terry too. And we got to play in The Curse of the Hem-Socked Barrows, which was written by Mike and Ted from 3D6 down the line. And they're making a version for OSE, and they're actually making a version for Shadow Dark. So be on the lookout for that, because I'm sure that'll be out soon. And then I got my Old School Essentials book and my hot tea, because I was drinking hot tea all weekend. Got a cool sticker from some of the folks that were playing, and we just had a blast, man. It was a great game. Got to hang out at the Timber Lodge. We actually got a room that was very quiet, which was nice because most of the rooms were very loud. So that was a blast. I played a halfling, as I do, because I love halflings. And there's the table. We're all having a great time. We're exploring the dungeon. And then I renamed my character to Terry Barney. And then he got murdered. Dang it. But actually, he was dead, but then they brought him back to life, which was nice. So they got him back up, so he didn't die. And then I critted, which never happened, so I had to take a picture of that. There's everybody. I don't know why I got a picture of that. That was kind of weird. Anyway, but there's all the guys. Not all the guys. There were a couple of guys from 3D6 down the line weren't there, but 3 out of the 5 dudes from 3D6 down the line. There's me making the worst smile I've ever made in my life. I look like an idiot, but those guys are awesome. There's Mike and Ted and Dan. And I tell you what, man, they signed this for Terry, and he's getting it framed for his game room. And man, that means a lot. Even though he couldn't be there to hang out with us, they made it special for him. So we brought that. Dave and I brought this back, and then Dave got it to Terry, and but they gave him a huge poster of 3D6 down the line signed by those guys. That's super cool. So stand up, excellent dudes. Go watch their YouTube channel, and be on the lookout for the Hem-Socked Barrows, because I am going to get it, and I hope that you do too, because these guys are great. Awesome dudes. Okay. This was a picture that was sent to me. That's why it's got this pink circle on it that I can't take off. But somebody, Yolanda actually asked for a copy of my zine, so I signed it and gave it to her. And that weekend, she stuck it up in the actual museum, or at his house, at Gary's house. Which, I was like, "Are you sure about that?" But it was kind of cool to see people were going through the museum, going through the house to see all the cool stuff there and to see Gary's house. And there you go. Yeah, the zine was there, which is an honor. But also I was kind of like, okay. Then there's my Saturday night game. Yeah, this was my third game of the weekend. I did 4 games, 4 hours, 16 hours of Shadow Dark. But this group was really great. Got to hang out with a big group of people. We had the Dungeon Damsel crew there. Hung out with Ben. Ben runs some DCC for us. Really great dude. And there's the crew, and we went through the module once again, or the adventure. Got attacked by some Gricks. Got attacked by an Otyug because that's how we roll. They made it through the adventure. There's the Otyug, and there's Zane and the guys from Dungeon Damsel, and they had these sweet Hawaiian shirts on. I had to get a picture of them. And then there's Dungeon Damsel herself, Bunny, and actually there's Wayne. They were hanging out in the lobby and they wanted to get a picture real quick, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, let's get a picture together. So Wayne is a blast. He does the editing on the zine. We had a really great time. Oh, and then here we go, Dark Space time. So I got to go and sit in on that Saturday night game with Than. I got to play a really cool, and I made a cool character who was I think I had like 4 arms. It was kind of cool. Yeah, and I had extra arms. I was a Chimili or Chindili or something like that. I don't know what it's called. But I got to do cool stuff. I wish I remembered more of it. I remembered that those Dungeon Damsel dice were critting like crazy, which was awesome. There's me and Than hanging out, talking Shadow Dark, talking Dark Space. There's our crew. He had those cool Arc Knight minis, the flat Arc Knight minis. He did his near and far stuff with different plates, which was cool. I really liked that. It was a good way to do it. We got attacked by a giant robot with a gun on top of it, and it blew us all up, which sucked, but it was fun. And then, oh yeah, this is awesome. That's Brian. He I walked up to him like, dude, your hat is awesome, because I love Rush. We got our picture taken together. He got my book at the Black Sword. What is it? Black Blade Publishing. Man, I can't get that right. He got the book at Black Blade Publishing. That was awesome. And there's me and Wayne hanging out. And then, yeah, that's the Sunday game. First thing in the morning, I ran a Sunday game, ran him through the adventure. But that was awesome. Yeah. And then I went over after the game to the Pirate Borg booth and hung out with Zach Goins. He's the marketing manager for Limithron, and also he helps run the Pirate Borg stuff. So he and Luke do the Pirate Borg stuff, and he's the Limithron guy. But yeah, Zach was a blast to hang out with. He's a really great writer. He actually helped with, I think he was a part of the Dark Visions project, and then actually after this, he approached me about writing for that Devoured Labyrinth, which is coming out on Kickstarter soon. So go check that out. So I got to write in the same book with Zach. That's awesome. Thanks, buddy. So it was an honor to be a part of that project. It was really cool. It was great to meet Zach. He's super good dude. Go check out Pirate Borg. Buy all the Pirate Borg stuff. I got myself a book. I got myself an adventure. And then I got another adventure from Zach. So thanks. There's my sticker and zine, and I actually won a DCC adventure they had a raffle, and I won, so that was cool. And then there's Luke. Got to hang out with Luke and talk to him. He makes Pirate Borg. He's the man. And then he signed my book after I bought a book. So that was cool. Thanks, Luke. There's more of my zine there. There's another picture of Than and all of us playing in the Dark Space game. That was a blast. And then there's another picture of me. Somebody took a photo of me as I was running my Sunday game. And then there's the guys. There's Hunter and Jeff and Steven and Dave and I, and just us hanging out, making our best pirate face after GaryCon. So that was a lot of fun, and they were a blast. I hope we get to hang out again next year at the Airbnb, because those guys were so great, and it was great hanging out with them all weekend. So I hope we get to hang again next time. And there's Yolanda. She is such a sweetheart and such a wonderful gal. And I tell you what, go. And I know that, you got to get out there. You just got to go play a game there. Go get yourself in a game at Gary's house, or go do the tour. It's definitely worth the price of admission. Definitely buy some shirts and some swag. I got myself a shirt there that actually, I think the shirt itself was actually designed by Darlene too, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then Sunday morning or Saturday night, we loaded the giant dungeon into the back of the Jeep, and then we drove that over to the museum. So there's Dave and I, and there's the dungeon. So, and we drove it over for Paul Stormberg. And then we got to hang out. I really wish I would have got a picture with Paul and Kevin there at the event. But we got to hang out, go through the museum, see Gary Gax's actual copy of Chainmail. Wow, right? And yeah, so it was a really cool time going through the museum. And then kind of the end of everything, the last day I walked up to Luke, and I said, "Hey, Luke, sir, may I please get a picture with you?" And he's like, "Why'd you have to ask me like that? I thought something was wrong." I was like, "Oh, I was just trying to be polite, dude." And so he put his arm around me, and we got a photo, and that was awesome. So apparently I was too polite about it, but I was just trying to. I didn't want to bug the guy, but I really wanted a picture with him, so it was cool. He was excellent all weekend, dude. I tell you what, Luke. The Children's Hospital there in Lake Geneva, and they raised something like 80,000, maybe it was more than that, I don't know, but it was a lot of money. The whole event was great. Absolutely loved it. So I would say 10 out of 10 GaryCon 2025 would go back next year. And then there's all the stickers that I got while I was out there. I put them on the other side of my laptop cover. So there we go. That's a wrap for GaryCon 2025. I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, go to crawlclub.com, sign up for our mailing list. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we're going to have more of this craziness, but that's kind of the summary of the event. I had a blast, really loved the event, loved meeting everybody that I did there. Everybody was so freaking positive and excellent the entire time. And I love being a part of this community. So the OSR community, the Shadow Dark community, the DCC community, everybody out there, the OSE community with the guys from 3D6 down the line that were so excellent to us. And yeah, just an outstanding time. Loved hanging out with everybody there, and can't wait to go next year. So thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.